everything in your pocket or on your person was developed by an engineer. Got a smartwatch on. I've got a smartphone. I mean, engineers designed those. Everything in this room was designed by an engineer. I think changing the mindset of teachers and parents and various other people in young people's lives to let them see what doing engineering and science and maths can bring and what doors those open. I was talking to somebody the other day about work, and probably the best thing and the worst thing are the same thing, and it's other people. Sometimes if it wasn't for other people, my job would be easy, but actually if it wasn't for other people.
Welcome to Workplus, the podcast that shines a light on the people doing good work across Northern Ireland. I'm your host, Richard Kirk, founder of Workplus. I've spent years working with employers, schools, colleges and universities, helping young people and career changers to make better informed career decisions. Each week, I sit down with real people doing real jobs to explore how they got there, what they've learned, and why their work matters. If you're a parent, teacher, carer, or just curious about what good work looks like today, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Claire, it's brilliant to have you with us on the podcast today. Thanks for coming.
I'm delighted to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
No worries. Thank you for being so willing. So on the podcast, we're all interested here about the work that people are doing across Northern Ireland and the impact they're having. Just tell us a bit about the work that you're doing day to day.
Yeah, so I'm the director of engineering. So I have quite a large engineering team. So I've got about 100 people who report to me. Lots of different types of engineers, from electronics to software, physicists, thing called FPGA engineers who do silicon development, and then lots of different places around the world. So I have a team in Toronto in Canada, and I've got a team in Zurich in Switzerland as well. Brilliant. So my day-to-day is really making sure my direct reports, who are mostly line managers, understand their objectives and making sure that all the developments are on track, and if they need any help, if there's any roadblocks, I can get rid of those, and also really helping them with the development of the people as well. It's a big part of my job as well, developing the engineers, making sure they all understand how they're going to progress in their own career and helping them do that. So that's a brilliant part of my job, which I love. Yeah.
Good. So you're doing that at Oxford Instruments now. For the majority of consumers, Oxford Instruments is a beautifully designed metal pencil case with my protractor and pair of compasses and all that in it. Yeah. But consumers maybe don't understand what actually goes on. So can you tell us a bit about the work you do?
I will tell you about that beautiful set. It's nothing to do with us actually, but different company. But yeah, Oxford Instruments, I'll tell you about Andor, which is part of Oxford Instruments that I work for. And we came out of Queen's as a startup about 35 years ago. And one of the founders and some of his PhD colleagues were looking at some physics experiment, and they wanted to image it, to photograph it, but they couldn't buy a camera. So they invented one. Oh. And so that's where Andor came from. And Andor, we're kind of experts in low light imaging. So cameras and other pieces of scientific equipment that you would use to measure really low light. So cameras that go on microscopes, cameras that go on telescopes. And we were acquired by Oxford Instruments about 13 or 14 years ago. Oxford Instruments, similar kind of business, not low light imaging, but scientific products that help researchers in life science and physical science really push the boundaries of science and really find out things. So I've personally been there for about 14 and a half years. And I've been the director for 7 years. Started off as an engineer, working on a camera development, and then did some software, started doing some line management, then did some project management, then did some software project management, and then became the engineering director. Yeah. So I've had quite a good career through my Oxford Instruments time. Yeah. Before that, I worked in telecoms. So did most of Northern Ireland. But
it's a big industry 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. So worked in Nortel, was a famous place in Northern Ireland that nobody knows about now. But worked there when I came out of university, did telecoms, and I did silicon development as well.
So was engineering like always something that was on your radar from a young age? Or?
Really interesting question. I went to an all-girls school, right? So it wasn't. And my parents were very much, you should be an accountant or be a doctor or be a lawyer, and it just really was not my thing whatsoever. And we had this really great science teacher when I was at school, and he decided to bring an electronics GCSE into an all-girls school in Northern Ireland, and we're talking about in the late 80s. I know I look a lot younger than that, but he brought this in, and so we were one of the first schools to do the GCSE in electronics, and it was girls as well, and I just absolutely loved it. So this teacher, he was really inspiring, together with this kind of electronics, kind of logical thinking. I mean, I hated English. Didn't want to write an essay. I like the fact that 1 and 1 equals 2, and it always does. And no matter what you say, it will always equal 1 and 1 will always equal 2. And so that's one of the reasons why I went into more of a scientific, more of a maths-based engineering. I loved, because it's about solving problems and coming up with a solution. And that's why.
Great. And as you've been an engineer and then have more and more responsibility, I'm a former engineer as well, right? So one of my friends once said to me, engineers are just interested in the things no one else is interested in. So, there's a detail that comes with an engineer, and you need to have that attention to detail. But what are some of the other things that engineers need to have, like other skills, other than just the technical side that you find that's helped you during your career?
I mean, you're right. Detail is one of them. I think curiosity is a big part of a big thing. Actually trying to understand why things happen or why something doesn't happen or doesn't work is part of it. Really, that curiosity to understand. And also, I would say creativity as well. And a lot of people go, oh no, you can't be creative if you're an engineer. But actually, it's about coming up with a solution that tries to resolve the problem. And there could be multiple solutions, but that way of thinking and thinking slightly differently will allow you to do loads of different things, give you a different solution, but also allows you to innovate. And then, that can become part of your insight into engineering as well, innovation through creativity and that curiosity.
Yeah. And it's a team sport, I guess, as well, isn't it?
Oh, big time. It's not a thing you can do, an isolated job. You need to be able to collaborate and work with people. And that's me personally, that's where I get a big satisfaction from my job, is working with people and trying to help them solve a problem and remove barriers, from what they're trying to do. And lots of people think that engineers fit a certain stereotype, but actually the diversity brings lots of different types of thought and ideas and different ways to approach the same problem. So actually collaboration, teamwork's a big part of it. Yeah.
You mentioned now that as a director, you're managing people who are line managers themselves. Like, do you find it difficult to step away from the detail to almost empower them to solve it themselves rather than trying to get your hands on it? When I first was a manager and I first decided I wanted to do this role where I'm, as you say, a step away from the detail, I found that quite frustrating. That it's like, oh, I want to get stuck in. But actually seeing other people and really being able to mentor them or coach them and getting them to come up with a problem themselves is so much more satisfying, because you're able to empower and really excite other people about the same thing that you get excited about. It actually, I find that that's the biggest, and I've said it already, the biggest part of my job that I really enjoy is that people side, helping them find the excitement in solving the problem is just, there's no other feeling like it, and seeing people grow. If you get a new person into your team who, a junior person, and you're able to help them with their career and help them grow as an engineer, grow as a scientist, and be able to create things and really see their journey. It's brilliant, that's what you want, right? Oh, so good to see that. Good to hear. And in terms of the team that you have, it's a global team, but how do you, are you finding people are really interested in coming into Oxford Instruments to work? Has that been a challenge for you to try and draw new people in?
It's an interesting question as well, because a lot of people haven't heard of Andor or Oxford Instruments before. But actually, globally we play a big part, because we are involved with science. And Northern Ireland is really a great place for inward investment, especially from the US in terms of fintech and other software type like cyber security and all of that. So we do have to compete a lot with those companies for talent. The good thing about Oxford and Andor is because we're working in this kind of space of medical research or scientific research, people, I mean, I went into a meeting and spent 2 hours talking about a black hole. Like, who does that in their job? You know, that's part of my job. And when people come in and they understand, well, actually, I'm working on something that's going to help cure Alzheimer's or find a cure for a particular cancer, or the researcher that's going to buy this is going to identify some far off planet or galaxy or understand the creation of the universe. Well, I mean, that's amazing, right? Yeah, so knowing what the customers do, allowing engineers and people working for the business to really be or have that understanding about what our customers are using the equipment for drives that engagement and makes you want to solve the problem and
there's a real get the sense there that as a team you're not just sitting in a darkened room thinking about these things. It's actually with your clients, your users of your products that you haven't maybe invented yet, but or whatever.
Absolutely, because we do need to, because they're the ones who are like pushing the boundaries of science and they'll want something really specific and they'll understand, you know, the physics of it or the, you know, what it is they're looking for. So quite a lot of people who work in Andor have to be that kind of customer facing, but understand the science as well. And then obviously it's so great when you can get engineers out to a customer as well, because then they can see their products in action and how they're being used by the customer. So and then that'll make a better product the next time, you know. Yeah.
So that really sparks your colleagues to be able to go meet customers and to see it in action as well.
Yeah.
So you mentioned medical there, and we talked a bit about black holes. What are the applications then of the products that you're using?
Yeah, so those types of things. So other areas. So mostly cameras on life science and physical science research, which you can imagine a camera on a telescope. So lots of cameras on European Space telescopes in Hawaii, that kind of thing, looking for exoplanets and other galaxies. In life science, it would be things like vaccine development, cancer, and as I say, Alzheimer's type research. Other things are, we develop spectrographs, which is where the piece of equipment takes the image or the light coming in and separates it into all the wavelengths, and then you can determine what it is that you're looking at. So, for example, when you go through the airport and you get swabbed on your hands, you use a spectrograph to determine whether you're carrying any controlled substances.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So our products can be used for that as well. So lots of different types of applications, which aren't your normal. You can't really buy them on Amazon, but it's usually researchers at universities who would buy it. Drug development and research into disease. And,
Well, you take a tablet or whatever you're given it by, and you just don't understand that all these jobs have gone on in behind the scenes over maybe a decade.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
I know.
That sort of the community that's been required.
And I think that's a real push, whenever people are coming into the business, them knowing that's what the product is doing is really powerful, I think,
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Good. And you've been involved in inspiring young people to come through. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I've been a STEM ambassador for, oh my goodness, I don't know, way too many years to count. It's really important to me, as I told you earlier about when I was in school and all those decades ago, it was difficult whenever I admitted I didn't want to do medicine or accountancy or law. I wanted to do engineering, and people go, okay, that's not something for a girl to do. And since then, I've kind of been really passionate about saying, well, why not? I can do it just as well as any other person who's doing it, and so can other people. And read any newspaper or any blog or anything saying that we don't have enough people. Doesn't matter what gender they are, doing STEM subjects. So I am really passionate about getting young people excited about it, excited about being able to solve problems, to get involved with understanding maths and logical problems, and really trying to show them it's not about fixing cars or toasters. Photocopiers, yeah, or rewiring your house, or, everything in your pocket or on your person was developed by an engineer. I've got a smartwatch on, I've got a smartphone. I mean, engineers designed those, everything in this room was designed by an engineer. I think changing the mindset of teachers and parents and various other people in young people's lives to let them see what doing engineering and science and maths can bring, and what doors those open. You can do anything. It's not, I have to just do this one thing and now I'm a civil engineer. No, it's, you've got this massive, massive opportunity, to do really anything you want.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you've had, even though you've been in what you'd probably broadly say like an engineering manufacturing career, you've had all these different jobs.
Absolutely,
from Nortel, telecoms to the software jobs. Like it's pretty variable.
Absolutely, and I know people who I went to university with who are now started their own business. They're maybe went back into teaching. Now they're teaching, science subjects at school.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Doing lots of different things. It's not just one size fits everybody. And it opens that range of opportunity. And obviously, the other thing is you don't have to go to university either anymore, which is brilliant. I think STEM subjects are important throughout school, no matter what your ambition is. If you want to go to university, great. But if you don't, there's other opportunities to learn and grow and develop as a technician and an engineer. And we have people in our organisation who didn't go that traditional path, but are brilliant engineers and senior engineers, making a difference. Yeah.
Do you think there's a bit of a risk with the focus on STEM that we sort of lose some of the arts and humanities side of the person as well? Like I was talking to a director of a software company, and he was saying that actually for him, it's being able to listen and communicate well. And that's really refreshing for him to say. Yeah. But STEM has been a phrase, science, technology, engineering, maths, has been a phrase for, maybe the last 20, 30 years. Is there a risk that we're missing out on kind of making sure that people are well-rounded in that as well?
Yeah, there probably is. Now, saying that, my daughter is doing her GCSEs and she's chosen her A-levels, and she's choosing maths, physics, art and music.
Oh,
so
nice.
she's trying to tick both boxes, keep that creativity side. And as I said earlier, I think creativity is a big part of being a well-rounded engineer. I think there is a risk, and you've seen that in the news, about universities cutting some of their arts-based things, which is it is really sad, that is happening. Hopefully it won't go too far, because I think you do need, a very number of people, type of people, and as diverse teams always bring the best results as well. So,
and I suppose even like the STEM subject areas, it's quite a linear kind of silo way of looking at it, because the reason Andor is here is that you've got people who are really good at listening to problems. Yes, you've got people who are good at coming up with solutions, but then you've got people who are really great at selling that as well. Even a manufacturing business needs to have this wide range, and I think that's definitely a concern that I would hear shared by a lot of people, is that we can sort of miss that there are other skills that are needed.
I know.
And hidden jobs out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. And certainly for any business, you do need the, other functions that bring the business together. The marketing side and the human resources side, and all of those sides that help a business be a great place to work, as well as really, as you've said, understanding your customer, listening to what they want, and then being able to sell it back to them and say, this is what we've done, and here it is, and
find more people like them and sell it to them as well. I know your STEM work in working schools has been important to you. You've also been involved with SistersIN. Can you say a bit more just about SistersIN?
So SistersIN is a charity set up a number of years ago to really inspire and support young women in really 16, 17-year-olds to give them opportunities to see really different types of careers and areas in business and how they can develop as leaders. And part of that is because, if you look at percentages of women in boardrooms and women in other areas of strategic decision making or in positions of power, there is an imbalance, and this is a way to really tell these young women, no, you have got what it takes, and we're gonna help you see role models that you can aspire to be. We're going to give you some experiences that you won't get elsewhere. And so the charity has been really making sure that different schools can send young women and give them a mentor through a program that lasts 8 months, but also give them lots of different experiences to do and meet different people and to understand different types of jobs that really their parents probably don't know anything about, or even their school. Careers teachers they're like hen's teeth. Well, not careers teachers, but they're usually other teachers, and they've got a full-time job and they've been asked to do careers service as well. And that's a really tough position to be, and they're meant to know everything that you can now do. And you and I both know, jobs change, and with technological revolutions come other jobs, and how careers teachers or even parents are meant to keep up with that, I don't know. But this charity is allowing us to, people like myself, to give something back, to mentor these young women, give them, some words of valuable experience, hopefully, but also, support them, and they have to do a project through the program as well, and help them understand different aspects of what a project might look like, once they're out of school or, in a career, what types of things that they might have to consider. So it's really about empowering.
That's great. That's really exciting that they got this project element, because I think quite often, young people will think, well, I don't have the qualification yet to get, or the degree or something to get into that place, but actually they're already becoming the person that you in the future will need, through their ability to manage a project, to listen well, to come up with new ideas. That's great. Even
though they might be doing that anyway, because maybe they're part of a sports team, or maybe they're doing this, but they don't realise that all of those experiences, matter to employers that are out there. It was come back to my daughter. She'll kill me for talking about her in this podcast. But she was applying for a job, right? She's 16, she's got national insurance now. And she was doing her CV. She goes, what am I? I've done nothing. And I went, well, you've done some babysitting. So can you not say, that you've had to organise, healthcare and other things, This is like,
and negotiate your payment terms.
Yeah, no. And I said all these things matter, and it's similar to when we're talking to these other young women. They don't realise that they're learning how to make decisions. They're learning how to market whatever it is, the project. Learning, as you say, listening to their customer, and then feeding back and developing all those communication skills, which are just really, sought for.
Yeah. And that feeds on then. So what you mentioned about maybe not needing degrees to get in, what are you looking for in people that are coming into Oxford Instruments? What are you really looking for?
Have conversations about people who have capacity to learn. That's all great. But if they don't want to do it, then that's, I'm not going to, can't force them, right? Yeah. But people who want to learn something or learn and grow, that's the most important thing. Obviously we want people who can collaborate and teamwork and do a bit of teamwork. You can teach people a lot of communication skills. If they've got a bit of it naturally, that's brilliant. Yeah. But if they want to learn and they're curious, then that's really, you can teach a lot of other stuff. So
yeah. And what are some of the ways that young people might get into Oxford Instruments? If you go, you mentioned SistersIN, you're going out to schools with maybe some of your colleagues as well. Work experience. Yeah. You started to think about apprenticeships as well.
So we have some apprenticeships in operations, but we're also looking at software apprenticeship as well. I think our software team's really excited about that one because I think they're looking forward to a ripe young person who they can help them with that learning on how to code. So work experience as well. So we do take in quite a few during multiple weeks throughout the year because all schools are different. And then we'll let initially when young people come into the organisation, whether it's work experience or through an apprenticeship or placement year for people in university, they'll get a tour, they'll get some time at each department just to see. And I think that's really useful, especially for young people who are interested in engineering but not quite sure which particular aspect of it they're interested in. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you do get people who come in and go, I never want to do this. You know what? That's great. You've learned something. You've learned something and you can now cross that off your list. That's great. And that's what we want to get out of it. It's useful for our engineers as well because they can see, the talent coming through and how they can, inspire them or be part of their journey as well. So that's really useful too.
That's good. Yeah. Good. Well, last question is what's so great about work for you?
Oh my goodness. Well, as I say, I was talking to somebody the other day about work and probably the best thing and the worst thing are the same thing. And it's other people. So humans, sometimes if it wasn't for other people, my job would be easy. But actually, if it wasn't for other people, I wouldn't like it. I would hate it. I get the most satisfaction out of the teamwork and collaboration, and also seeing people grow and develop. And a previous boss of mine, we used to talk about, what really is my job. My job is to make myself redundant, right? That's my job. And I need to grow people who are, successors to me to make sure that if I leave or get hit by a bus or whatever it is, that the business is going to be okay and they can take over.
Great. Well, that's a great way to finish. Thank you so much for your time, Claire. I really appreciate you coming in.
Not a problem. It wasn't too scary.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for tuning in to Workplus. If today's story gave you fresh perspective or helped you rethink what's possible, leave us a review on your favourite podcast platform or hit like and subscribe. It really does make a big difference. For more stories, resources, and tools to help guide the next generation, visit workplus.app. Until next time.